from Fargo and serving you on TV, online, and on the go. This is Valley News Live at 6.
This part of the country, you got to do it sometime in the warmer season. And really, the lakes aren't warmed up yet. You know, this is still early, and things don't really get happen until later in June anyway, so.
Today's snow and rain showers couldn't dampen the positive vibes of the Detroit Lakes business community. Thanks for joining us tonight.
We're ready. That's the message Detroit Lakes wants people to know, even though it seems like the city has a bullseye on its back when it comes to road construction. Valley News Team's Bradford Eric heads to Lakes Country to see how businesses are going to be impacted by the oncoming orange cone season.
Heavy equipment, dirt, and water. Construction season is here in Detroit Lakes.
I think the businesses are concerned that people are going to be afraid to come to town.
The Detroit Lakes Chamber just launched Dig In Downtown DL, a multimedia campaign advertising that the city is still open for business.
And really, we're digging it. It's just a great opportunity to promote our downtown, promote retail shopping, the service businesses we have. We have a great mix.
It's not just the major construction projects on the main thoroughfares that businesses are going to have to deal with. They're also working around a project right now here in downtown Detroit Lakes. But they say they're getting by.
Celebrating our 109th anniversary right now.
Norby's sits smack dab downtown and relies heavily on foot traffic. But they're not worried. Parts of the city haven't been updated for decades. And with the early spring, the Washington Avenue project is moving along.
We're in Minnesota. You know, there's only a limited window, so either try and hit it at the beginning or try and hit it at the end.
Several other shops agree. They've got back entrances customers can use. Not everyone shares the optimism, though. Several tourists from Winnipeg say one friend had to stay behind. She's physically disabled and couldn't maneuver the rubber and plywood sidewalks. In Detroit Lakes, Bradford Eric, Valley News Live.
Several annual DL events like the street fair are still going to happen this year, just shifted a few blocks to account for the construction. Contact the Chamber if you have any concerns.
Well, take a look at this. This doesn't remind us of summer. Some brief, heavy snow moved through most of the valley today. So are the snow squalls done, or are we going to expect more of them? Chief Meteorologist Hutch Johnson is here now. So Hutch, is there more snow coming?
There is. The radar still active and the wind pretty much a factor for everyone involved, especially in our westernmost counties. Jamestown gusting to almost 40 miles per hour, gusts through Lakes Country 25 to 35 miles per hour. Heading into the evening. There is a look at the latest radar. We do have some warmer air to the south and to the west, and that's causing some rain showers. But as you showed, it's mixing with some sleet and even some snow as we move through the northern Red River Valley. It's a better chance of snow, especially in northwest Minnesota. Temperatures falling into the 30s this evening and wind chilly indeed. I'll have details on when we warm back up and tell you about any future chances of rain in the forecast here in a few moments.
You like warmth and not so much snow right now.
Indeed, but bundle up tonight.
Yes, all right. Thanks, Hutch. At this hour, the Grand Forks City Council is considering 2 new alcohol ordinances aimed at cutting binge drinking down. However, the issue could run into a legal snag. One ordinance would outlaw 3-for-1 drink specials. The other would make homeowners more liable for parties. A UND group promoting the new ordinances may have violated the North Dakota Century Code by using state email accounts for political purposes. The UND Healthy Coalition used UND email to promote the new ordinances around campus. Councilman Dana Sandy tells us that he'd like to hear from an attorney before voting on these ordinances. UND issued the following statement saying, in part, an email from Friday says approximately 200 people who had asked to be updated on various health and wellness issues at UND. It was subsequently pointed out the transmission of this email through the UND system was not consistent with UND Police and North Dakota Century Code. We're going to have the latest on all this as soon as it becomes available online and Valley News Live 10 at 10.
6 men from the Twin Cities area have been charged with conspiracy and attempt to provide support to the terror group ISIS. 4 of the men were arrested in Minneapolis yesterday. The 2 other men were arrested yesterday in California after driving from Minneapolis to San Diego. All 6 are charged with conspiring and attempting to provide material support to the terrorist group. Officials say there's no indication that any of the men had plans to launch a terror attack here in the country.
To be clear, we have a terror recruiting problem in Minnesota. And this case demonstrates how difficult it is to put an end to recruiting here.
According to the Minnesota U.S. Attorney's Office, the men worked over a period of 10 months to join ISIS. An inside informant helped police break that case.
You know how difficult it can be to get time off from work to care for a sick child or a loved one, but now lawmakers are exploring ideas to make that a little easier for you and your family. Washington correspondent Lauren Adams has the story.
Working parents have to do it all, balance a job and a family, but sometimes they need a little help.
Right now, only 13% of workers in America have paid family leave through their employers.
Ruth Martin is the senior campaign director for Moms Rising, a family advocacy organization. She says when working parents can't get paid time off from work to care for a sick relative, the whole economy suffers.
When people aren't earning money, they're not spending money, and we need people to be able to spend money in this economy.
According to Think Progress, the United States ranks behind countries like Bangladesh, Chad, and Iran when it comes to guaranteed paid family leave. Some states have their own family leave options in place, but now the conversation is underway on Capitol Hill.
It just makes sense in the 21st century workplace.
Georgia Senator Johnny Isakson is a co-sponsor of the Family Friendly and Workplace Flexibility Act, legislation that would allow employees to bank overtime hours in exchange for time off.
It gives them a great deal of flexibility, and for a woman with a family, for a man with 2 jobs, for people that need the flexibility in the job, comp time is a godsend.
On the other side of the aisle, congressional Democrats have introduced their own legislation. The Family and Medical Insurance Leave Act, which would provide up to 12 weeks of partial income for family leave and would be funded through employee and employer contributions. But Isakson says it would work better if it were left up to the business owners, not the government.
It should be an allowable agreement that the employee and the employer can agree to without the government having to sign off on it.
Now, regardless of the approach, one thing is for sure: the conversation over paid family leave is only expected to heat up as candidates battle for the White House in 2016.
Early indications are pointing to a good turnout for next Tuesday's special election in Fargo. Voters were out this morning to cast their ballots early. It's going on at the Baymont Inn, formerly the Doublewood on 13th Avenue South. Early voting will continue through Wednesday. The hours are from 10 in the morning until 7 at night. At stake, of course, the mayor's race in Fargo, where Tim Mahoney and Brad Wimmer are squaring off. There are 6 candidates running for 1 seat on the city commission. Now, on Election Day, which again is a week from tomorrow, the voting spots are the Fargo Dome, Elzegel Shrine, the Fargo Public Library, Atonement Lutheran, Calvary United Methodist, and the Baymont Inn.
Some Harleys are on the move. A Fargo motorcycle dealership is moving to a new location. That's what the folks at Fargo Harley-Davidson are doing, and despite all it takes to get things moving, they're looking forward to it. The Entman family bought the Harley dealership about 1.5 years ago, and now they're moving to a new building just off of Cheyenne Street and I-94 in West Fargo. Joe Entman says that most of the work is done inside their new store, and he says they'll be all set to go bright and early Monday morning.
Every morning we start off with a meeting, a team meeting, where we just discuss what we want to accomplish each day. We set out objectives. And then we just make sure that we follow them. You know, everybody has a job and someone to go to if they have questions. And staying organized is the biggest component, because we don't want to damage anything. We don't want to lose anything. And the fun stuff, the motorcycles, everybody's looking forward to that, but that comes last.
Now, they say the shop is closed this week so they can get everything moved and completed. A formal ribbon cutting is planned for Tuesday.
Nothing rides like a Harley.
Exactly.
Later on Valley News Live at 6, kids and farm animals combine for some fun learning at NDSU.
Cool, windy and gray with a shot of flakes this Monday evening. There's improvement in your forecast, and I'll have all those details right after this.
You're